So in this one, I thought we could discuss things to give up for a healthier, happier, just more peaceful, 2026, with first in line being justifying your boundaries. Because think about it, the type of people that usually require for you to justify your boundaries are people who just don't get the concept. Okay, perhaps they grew up in a household where boundaries were not a thing. Perhaps they grew up in a house where their mom, their dad could just bust into their room without knocking. And I'm not saying that everybody who grew up in a household like that never end up teaching themselves about boundaries, because I come from a similar background and I did as an adult teach myself about them. But if you're dealing with somebody who come from a background like that and never taught themselves about boundaries, then trying to justify your boundaries to them is going to be a waste of time and a waste of energy. Okay, the best course of action here is just cutting them off. But if you can't cut them off because they're your mom, your cousin, or just somebody you love dearly, you're gonna have to try to not be with them in a setting where the boundary violation can happen. Okay, so if they always violate your boundaries in your home, for example, that they're no longer welcome in your home, y'all can be at a restaurant, at a coffee shop, but not in your house. If the boundaries is around your kids, we know that a lot of parents do have quite a lot of boundaries around their kids, as they should. And we know that grandparents and other people are not always good at respecting those boundaries. Then don't have them around your child. It's as simple as that. I know that I used to have a friend, we're not friends anymore, who used to say things to my daughter that I didn't like, and at first I just started to meet her without my girl, and at some point I just had to cut her off completely. But yeah, you have to proceed like that, because like I said, these people, justifying your boundaries to them doesn't make sense. They just won't get it, and you shouldn't have to do that. And if they ask why they no longer, let's say that you no longer want them to come to your house, then you can just tell them, well, you just didn't respect my boundaries every time that I invited you around, so you're no longer welcome. Now, this is where it's going to be important in order to protect your peace, not to justify. Okay, don't get into justifying mode. Just tell them you're no longer welcome. And this type of people will give you pushback. Okay, they will say, why can't I come? Okay, let's say that every time they come to your house, they just open your fridge and eat your food. Okay, they say, oh, I don't understand why you have that stupid room anyway. Like, it's not like I eat all your food. It's not like you don't have more than enough food. Well, in this case, don't engage. Okay, just say, I have to go, I have to do laundries, or I have to go, the baby's crying. Like, find an excuse and get off the phone, but don't justify the boundary. Just say the boundary and put your foot down. Okay, another thing that we're giving up on in 2026 for peace is thinking that people think the same as you do, or wanting them to think the same as you do. Okay, this is why, in my opinion, most conversations turn into arguments. Okay, because most people don't understand the art of conversing. Conversing isn't about recruiting. Okay, it isn't about getting the other person to think exactly as you do. Like, I used to be guilty of this, yeah, or like at the end of every conversation, I wanted the other person to be like, oh yeah, you're right, like I no longer think as I used to, now I think like you do. Not exactly in those terms, but y'all know what I mean. I think most people listen to answer, they don't listen to understand, right? So in 2026, in order to guard your peace, go into conversations legit wanting to understand other people's point of view, to understand where they're coming from, not in order to recruit them, not wanting them to think exactly as you do. And I know sometimes this is hard, especially on subject matters that means a lot to us, but we really have to understand and grasp the fact that other people are not us. It's that simple. It don't matter if they're our sisters, our cousin, or our mom, they're not us. Like, even psychiatrists will tell you that even two sisters who grew up in the same household didn't have the same childhood, because parents tend to interact with children differently based on their own personality or how they feel about them, etc., etc. Right? So nobody, no living breathing human being is going to think exactly as you do, because y'all don't have the same set of trauma, childhood, parents, etc., etc. Right? So like I said, try going into conversations for your own sanity, just wanting to understand where the other person is coming from, not wanting to recruit them, not wanting them to think exactly as you do, not wanting to convince them, just wanting to understand where they're coming from. Okay, another thing we're definitely not doing in 2026 is seeking validation, because baby, you is not a parking ticket. Okay, we validate at parkings. Okay, not with other humans. Like, you don't need other humans' validation in order to live your life the way you want to, because it's your life. You can do whatever you want with it, quite literally. You can ruin it. Like, it's yours to ruin, and please don't go and ruin your life. But again, that's your prerogative, right? Mistakes are yours to make. I mean, every human makes mistake, right? You get to make your own mistake. You don't have to make the same mistake that your parents did, or your sister did, or whatever, whoever. You get to make your own mistake. You get to live your own life. Stop seeking validation. If you want to quit your job to pursue becoming an actress, a singer, do that. It's, again, I don't think you should do that because, you know, bills and utilities and whatever. But you know what I mean? Like, you can do whatever you want. It's your life. You don't need other people's permission in order to do what you want. Anybody's. It's your life. Your rules, your choice. Whatever you want. You have free will, you know. That's the one thing I feel we need to do collectively more is exercise more free will. I don't feel like as human we exercise as much free will as we can. Like in theory I could poo on my kitchen island and close the door and leave my house and do whatever I want. Now, you know, I'm not gonna do that, but in theory I could do it. That's what I mean. So yeah, your life to live, your life to ruin, your life, your mistake to make, your life. And of course, last but not least, over-explaining yourself. Listen, stop over-explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you, okay? It's not that they don't understand, Miss Ma'am. It's that they don't want to, okay? They don't want to. And I used to be the queen of over-explaining myself. I remember years ago when I called a friend and they didn't pick up, I would call them 2 days later and I would be like, I called you 2 days ago. And they would be like, well, I didn't see your call. Then I would immediately go and screenshot the calls and send it to them on WhatsApp and be like, see, I called you 2 days ago. Like, crazy. I know I called them. It's on my phone log. If it's on my phone log, it's on their phone log. And that's it. That's all. That's on my lamb. Okay, so do not over-explain, over-prove, over nothing yourself to nobody. You don't owe people jack shit, really. You don't owe anybody anything, okay? So in 2026, let's resist the urge of over-explaining ourselves to people who clearly accommodate to misunderstanding us, okay? Or who don't actually have the capacity of understanding us. That's another one, right? Before you argue with anyone, ask yourself, do they even have the mental capacity to get what you're talking about? Like in terms of healing, are they healed enough to even understand where you're coming from? If the answer is no, don't waste your time, don't waste your breath, don't waste your energy. Like, life is precious. And in 2025 we are looking for peace, okay? Like the purpose, the objective for me is peace. I want peace at all costs, inner peace. Yeah, that's definitely my goal for 2026. So if you enjoyed this video, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. In the comment section down below, let me know, what are you leaving behind in 2025? Do not forget to subscribe to my channel as well, and I will talk to you girls soon, and very, very soon. Bye girls, thanks for watching. Mwah.